Oh, yeah, I saw that.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
awesome. That'd be good, man.
that's going to be good. Right, it's got the link now. Post that. Hello guys, let us know who's here. Comment in the group, and I'm going to do a post. So just comment in that post. Right. See, this is the thing, right? People are posting now. How do we get on? There is no link. I posted a minute ago
Yeah.
saying it's like, oh, honestly, man, oh, never mind. Right.
It'd be a lot better when we get the website up, because then it'll just sort of be like Island homepage where you just kind of have a section and then it's just going to like pop up automatically, you know. So
Yeah, man, definitely. See, that's the other thing. I've had my laptop taken away. It's getting like all redone for moving away to Thailand.
okay.
So I've got my dad's laptop and it's terrible. So, right. So yeah, just get started in about a minute.
Cool. How's Matt been? Have you actually sort of spoken to him?
Nah, man. I've messaged him. Like he's not seen any of my messages. Like last night, he
Okay.
said to me that he was wanting to do the wake up call today. He said he was going to speak to Sid. He hasn't spoke to Sid, so I just thought, oh, to hell with it. Right. I'm just going to leave him to get on with whatever he's got going on.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but yeah, guys, just comment in that post where the link is for the hangout. Just let us know who's here, please. And make sure you've got a notepad and pen because this is going to be insanely awesome. When you start, I'm going to run and grab my notepad and pen as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so. Yannick says he's so excited I want to pee. What a legend. Come on. Yeah, did you see the new thing about the wake up calls as well? Yeah, how changing the days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Happy days.
Yeah, and I thought even as well could be an opportunity for someone else, like just within the group, if they're vibing on something, to sort of say, "Hey, can I chuck it up on a Friday or something?" Or
Yeah. Right,
special
Yannick,
guest
what's up?
Friday.
Alright. Yannick's here, Sarah. I think Janice will be on soon. So yeah,
Cool.
may as well just get rocking. So, ASF, what is going on? Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. It's 1 a.m. over here in the UK. I think it's afternoon time in Australia.
10 o'clock in the morning on a Friday. Yeah.
10 in the morning.
So, yeah.
Alright, guys, I know there's been some excitement going around about this hangout because we've got the legend himself, Mr. Paul Walker, going to be doing some incredible training on mindset. There's one thing that I've picked up on as well. There seems to be a lot of people that are doing my method but going in with the wrong mindset. Alright? Because my whole strategy starts with what's going up in your mind. Right? Because it all starts with a thought. So Paul's going to cover everything, how to get your mind clear, how to get you focused, alright, and so you can start smashing in some results ASAP. So without further ado, man, take it away.
Awesome, guys. Yeah. Well, firstly, thanks so much, Fraser. And yeah, I'm really looking, really forward and also pumped up to get this training out to you guys. Basically, I'm just going to bring up a PowerPoint slide, go through that. I'll give you a bit of an introduction, who I am, that sort of stuff. And obviously, Fraser's going to help monitor questions. So if you guys have questions, there will be appropriate times there where like I'll have a bit of a break. So if there's questions on that previous section, shout out and I'll try and answer them as we go. But yeah, that's about it. The one thing I will say, my internet here in Australia is pretty dodgy at the best of times. It may cut out, so if it does, obviously Fraser's just gonna like fill in the blank, and then I'll hopefully reboot and come back on. So if that does happen, so cool. I'm just gonna screen share, and we'll pretty much get into this into the slideshow here. So just give me 2 seconds, and I'll get this loaded up.
Cool. It's good as well for once I'm not like blinded out by the light in my room.
Yeah, you don't have that halo. Okay. All right, just let me know. It's just loading. Just let me know when that comes up, and you can guys see it.
Yeah, I can see it my end, man. We're all good.
Awesome. Okay. Bear with me 2 seconds. My computer's just running slow. Awesome, guys. So yeah, as Fraser said, make sure you got a pen and paper. Obviously, this is going to be recorded, but it's always great to sort of take notes as we sort of go through it. But yeah, it will be recorded. So if there's things that I'll maybe go a little bit too quickly on, or things you want to come back and check on yourself later, as I said, it will be posted and should be up, a couple of hours after we do this and stuff. So this is it. So this is my kind of sort of sales training that I thought would really sort of help you guys. And as I said, the intention here is that go that a little bit deeper into the mindset so that you guys have, I guess, a clear goal about how to actually implement Fraser's sort of Facebook strategy. Because I've seen, I'll be completely honest, I've seen a lot of comments, obviously, over the last sort of couple of weeks of people sort of getting so far into a conversation and then they're posting questions like, okay, this guy said this, and how do I respond to that? So hopefully this training is going to give you guys, as I said, that overview and start getting your brain thinking about, okay, well, what is the actual intention? Okay, so I kind of called this a yellow brick road of sales, and you'll see why. And for those of you who are a bit of a movie buff like me, this does tie in with The Wizard of Oz. So be prepared for what's going to happen with that. So is my screen big enough? Like, Fraser, can you see everything there okay? It's not cut off or anything? Oh, Fraser's run away, so okay. All right, that's cool. All right, so basically what we're going to cover over the next hour, hopefully we'll keep this to an hour, but it might go a little bit over that, but we'll try and keep this to an hour. So I'm going to give you a quick introduction on myself, just so you guys know exactly, a little bit more about me and my sort of background. I'm going to uncover the myths of selling, okay? Because obviously there is a lot of preconceived ideas and, some horrible myths about selling. So I'm going to kind of bust a couple of those open just to make you guys feel a little bit more comfortable about what it is that we're doing. We're going to go into what I'm calling sort of the straight line of the yellow brick road. This is kind of my analogy, my theory, and then obviously straight into the presentation. Obviously, there will be some question and answer time right at the end, but after each of these kind of sections here, I will sort of pause for questions based on what we just sort of covered there. Okay, so this is me. Who am I? For some of you, you obviously know me quite well. For some of the newer members of ASF, you probably don't really know too much about me. Yes, my name is Paul Walker, and no, I'm not that dude from the Fast and Furious movies, although I do get the jokes all the time. Happy for you guys to share those jokes with me and stuff. But basically, my background is I've been in sort of sales-based and sort of managerial roles for about 15 years. Pretty much from the age of 15, I left school early. I left grade school when I was 15 years old, and I've had pretty much a full-time job ever since. So I've worked, as I said, mainly sort of sales-based roles, and obviously moved my way up into different sort of manager roles. So therefore, brought in a lot with sort of communication skills, leadership, that type of thing. So hopefully that's what I'm going to sort of bring to you guys today. A couple of the stores that I've worked in, as I said, have been, I guess, what you guys would call a general manager or a store manager of stores that did well over $22 million in sales volume per annum. So obviously, big turnover stores, obviously managing teams of anywhere between sort of 30 to 50 people every single day within the store. So and as you can imagine, customer flow, I think customer count anywhere between sort of 2,000 to 5,000 customers coming in every single day, and then obviously you can multiply that more when it gets to Christmas periods and stuff like that. Been on countless, I can't even remember how many sales trainings, seminars that I've been to over the last 10 years, and obviously have compiled, just notebooks and folders and bits of paper and all sorts of videos and stuff to, in regards to sort of sales and kind of getting through a sales sort of presentation. So I'm going to bring a little bit of that for you guys today, and as I said, hopefully I've taken a lot of that information and I've really just tried to strip it back to kind of bare necessity, but very simplistic points that really anyone should be able to follow through. So you'll see that as we get through into the presentation. Previous to, I guess, coming online with certainly the ASF movement and what we're doing in Ireland, obviously first got in contact with Fraser probably, I don't know, it's been nearly 6, 8 months now, I think.
Yeah.
Initially sort of, yeah, obviously found Fraser by chance on a news feed, started sort of liking his stuff, and he was in Power at the time. Obviously hooked up with Fraser with in Power, and sort of that's how our friendship formed. But even previous to that, I'm talking about 7 years ago, I initially sort of, I guess, got into this industry through, I guess, traditional network marketing companies. Amway was the one that I kind of was introduced to, and even before that, my mum, back when I was like knee-high to a grasshopper living in Canada, my mum was building Amway over in Canada, where I'm from. So this has always kind of been in my blood, and it's always kind of been there in the back of my head. Even working traditional jobs, this has always been something that's like, you know what, I kind of know this is this, and now it's been obviously focusing on this type of industry as opposed to working a 9 to 5 job. And finally, yeah, like a lot of people I've studied from some of the biggest industry leaders in regards to selling, people like Jim Rohn, Brian Tracy have bought a lot of their products, read a lot of their books, and also follow what they do on online. Jordan Belfort, I'm not sure if you guys would have heard of him. You might know him by his nickname, which is the Wolf of Wall Street. There's a movie coming out with him. Leonardo DiCaprio is actually playing Jordan Belfort, done with Martin Scorsese. If you're not aware of who this guy is, I'd definitely go Google him. But basically, in a nutshell, he was probably one of the richest men in America. He was making $50 million a year on Wall Street. So he was making about $1 million a year. And he's got a bit of a checkered past. He actually went to the dark side and started, using his selling and persuading tactics for bad, and was ripping people off, and he ended up going to jail. But you'll see that all in the movie. But he's now come out, he's totally clean, and he's actually now teaching a selling course, which when I actually sort of came across this, completely changed my perception of selling. So we're going to get into that, and yeah, obviously other 5 to 6 figure earners, people like Mark Hoverson, Ray Higdon, Brendan Burchard, people that I regard as being just awesome sellers. Cool. So these are some of the myths of selling that I want to, I guess, sort of blow up out of the water and sort of go into a bit more detail. So, that selling is sleazy, and some people have that perception of like, I'm not good at it, or I don't really want to sell. Okay, that is definitely a myth of selling. So I'm going to go through a couple points on that. That people are born as salespeople, or they naturally have that kind of gift of the gab. Again, you'll know exactly the type of people I'm talking about. Again, that's a myth that you have to have that sort of trait, or you have to be that kind of, talking salesperson all the time. What we do with online business, it's not selling, or there's too much selling. Again, that is a myth that, coming into this online business, that, there is a lot more selling than what some people would actually want in their business, or people believe that there's not enough selling. So I'll kind of touch on a few points of that. And then really my lack of selling experience, that determines how much money I'll make. I mean, I know a lot of people probably have that thought every single day, especially coming into this business, that because they don't have a selling skill, or they believe they're not as good as what they see other people to be, that's going to determine how much you're ultimately going to make in this industry. Again, I believe that's a myth, and we're going to kind of bust that open here. So let's crack into the first one. So the selling is sleazy, okay? Selling is actually probably one of the most noble professions, and it's definitely one of the oldest professions in the world. I mean, if you think right back to biblical times and stuff like that, when Adam and Eve and all that sort of stuff were around, I mean, you think about it, God, sold Adam and Eve that they lived in this utopia, and then the devil came along and sold Eve that if she bit into this apple, things would be a lot different. So selling, as I said, it's been around for as pretty much the dawn of time. And we do selling in every single day, okay? So everybody does sell. They do it every single day, whether you realize it or not. Basically, you sell to your kids, you'll sell to your partner, your spouse, employees, whatever. Everything we do, every conversation, every engagement that we have with people, ultimately, we're selling them, okay? We're selling them on our idea or our opinion, or they're trying to sell us on their idea or opinion, okay? So if you can kind of understand that and grasp that, I think that's going to help you guys understand that selling is not as bad as like, oh, I've got to sell my business, or I've got to sell this, because basically you sell every day. So it's just a matter of putting that into context in regards to what sort of conversation you're having with people. As I said, selling is just a form of communication, okay? So again, if you can grasp that and understand that, hopefully that's going to take that anxiety and that edge off. Oh, I've got to sell to this person, because you do it every day. So if you can just get comfortable with the conversations you have, you're going to find that you're actually not selling and just having a conversation with someone, okay? I will say, yep, definitely some people do give it a bad taste in your mouth, but there's definitely a good way to sell that makes you seem like, you know, you're not selling, okay? And that's ultimately where, you know, you should be aiming towards. You don't want to be coming across like that person trying to ram your product down someone's throat. You want to be coming across as, you know, an information provider who's obviously just enlightening, you know, someone's education on a particular product or a service, or, you know, just basically boosting their knowledge. You know, only money-hungry people make good salespeople. Again, that's not necessarily true. I mean, some people, you know, are really good salespeople, but they're not driven by money. You know, they can be driven by, you know, recognition, just being a top recruiter, or, you know, having known that they're the best salesperson in their business or their industry. I mean, yes, the money comes along with it, but they're not necessarily always driven by the money, and nor do you have to be driven by the money there as well. And basically, as I said, think of this not as selling, but rather as persuading and influencing. Again, those can have negative connotations on them. But again, if you just sort of come in with the mindset that, you know, what you're basically conversing with someone about is, yes, you're trying to persuade them or influence them on whatever you're talking about, but knowing that at the end of the day, if they say no, or hey, it's not for me, hey, that's cool. You can kind of walk away, and that, you know, you're not there trying to, as I said, ram your product or your service or whatever it is, you know, down their throat. Cool, Fraser. As I said, if there's any questions, any comments coming up, just sort of shout out, let me know. But there will be a break in the presentation in a couple of moments.
Yeah, I'm keeping my eye on the group, man. So if anything comes up, I'll definitely let you know.
Cool, man. And as I said, Fraser, too, feel free to chime in if you want to add, you know, some thoughts and stuff as well. Obviously, you are, you know, you're the man. So if there's anything there you want to add in, just interrupt me and say your bit.
Yeah, for sure, man. Definitely.
Cool. All right, guys. So continuing on, you know, people, you know, are born salespeople. Again, I mean, that's not true. I mean, sales is simply a skill. You know, you can certainly learn it, and certainly be taught this skill. So again, break down that kind of fear of, oh, I'm not a salesperson. Every great salesperson, Mark Hoverson, Fraser, you know, Jim Rohn, Brian Tracy, all these people, all at some point started out as someone who did not know how to sell, and all they did was basically, like anything, you know, they practiced, you know, they had some patience, and they measured and tested, you know, what they did. You know, they tried an opening line, that failed. Okay, they mix it up, try something else. Closing line, okay, they're bombing out on those closing lines, so change it up. So it's measuring and testing, and also just being consistent. I mean, this is probably, Fraser probably sounds like a broken record, but every time someone asks him, how do you, you know, how come you're getting so many sign-ups? Because he consistently does it every single day. Like, you just saw his post last night. He was been up for 48 hours nearly, and he said, you know, for the last 10 hours, I've just been on Facebook messaging people, okay? Granted, not everyone has 10 hours. Not everyone has 24 hours to sit on Facebook and do that. But for the time that you do have, and for the time that you actually allocate and block out to go, hey, I've got to message some people on Facebook, also use that time to you know, to your advantage, but make sure you're consistently doing it every single day. Even if it's only 5 minutes, half an hour, an hour, whatever you can do, just be consistent at that, okay? And the more consistent you can be, then obviously the better results you're going to get, the more momentum you're going to build up, okay? You know, you need the right teacher and understanding of what sales actually is, okay? So again, I'm hoping that this webinar tonight is going to be me sort of teaching you maybe some things that you may not be aware of, and as I said, hopefully I can teach this in a way that makes sense and actually gives you, as I said, some clarity about what your intention is with actually selling, okay? Again, if you can sell one thing, you can sell multiple things, okay? If you can learn to sell a 5-cent product, you can learn to sell a $5 million product, okay? Where people get anxious and, you know, get worried is they build so much anxiety around, oh, it's a $5 million product, or it's a $5,000 product, okay? You just got to learn the difference between features and benefits, and also listening to what it is your customer or your prospect is actually looking for, okay? When you can identify what it is they actually need, if they need a $5,000 product, if you've qualified on that, if I sell them this $5,000 product and this is actually going to enhance their life, they will happily pay you $5,000, okay? When you start looking at it the other way and thinking, well, they don't really need this product, but I want to make the sale because I want to make $5,000, that's when the lines get blurred. That's when you won't be able to sell it, because you'll either come across too desperate or you're going to come across too pushy, trying to force something onto them that they don't want, okay? So it's about, as I said, really just getting clear on what is the struggles, the pain points that your prospect or client has, and do you have the right solution that fits it? And if that right solution costs 5 cents, $5,000, $5 million, that prospect will pay it to get that satisfaction that their solution will be solved, okay, or their problem will be solved. And finally, there are people with the gift of the gab. You know, they typically are the worst salespeople, and I'm sort of talking from personal experience here. I mean, I'm not someone who has that kind of gift of the gab, but I've certainly worked with a wide range of salespeople in different countries, different businesses, who have come across like they've had that gift of the gab, but from a distance they look great. And what I mean by that is, you know, you hear them talking to people all the time, and you think that they're making sales left, right, and center. Sometimes they are, you know, sometimes they are putting a lot of sales through, but what you don't see is behind the scenes is, you know, those customers could potentially walk away with buyer's remorse, okay? They've kind of been forced on that product. They buy it out of just, okay, I just want this guy to shut up, and I just need to get out of here, so they buy it. And then what happens? They go home and they regret it, and they either come back and they return it, or they now have a bad sort of taste about, in particular, that salesperson, or in particular that company or business, because they're like, well, that guy kind of forced something onto me that I didn't want, so I'm not really going to go back there again. Okay, so that's kind of, again, the misconception with those people with the gift of the gab. Don't get me wrong, there's some people out there who do have a gift of the gab, who are naturally speaking. Fraser would be one of them. He is a natural, sociable speaker, but he also understands and listens to what the prospect or the customer wants, and therefore, you know, he's able to talk and understand and be on the same level. Then when he actually offers, you know, the product or service up, those people will buy from him because he's already established, you know, that rapport and obviously that conversation with them and stuff. So I hope that's kind of cleared a couple of those myths up there for you. And as I said, really giving you the understanding that this is just a skill. It's a skill that can be learned. It's a skill that can be taught. And if you are patient, if you're dedicated, if you're prepared to put in the hard yards of measuring and testing what works for you and what you find you're getting results in, and then just be consistent with that, you can be the next Fraser. You could be the next Brian Tracy. You could be the next, you know, Jordan Belfort. It really just comes back to you, and as I said, how much you actually want to put into learning this skill and really acquiring, you know, what you need to know in regards to being the best at this particular skill. Okay, so we're going to move on to this one. So what we do with online business is not selling. My point of view, it is. Plain and simple it is, okay? If you're running an online system, if you're an affiliate marketer, if you have products or services within your business, basically you need to sell them to make money. Otherwise, if you're just giving away, you're a charity, okay? So understand that selling is not bad. It's not sleazy. It is just a part of life. And the quicker you guys can understand that, the quicker you guys can embrace that, well, I do have a business. My ILN, you know, thing that I have, it is a business. And if I want to be someone like a Fraser who's making, you know, 5 figures from this business, I need to be able to sell. I need to be able to persuade, and I need to be able to influence people that, hey, ILN could be the solution to your problem. Okay, so it is selling, plain and simple. But if you don't like calling it selling, call it whatever you want, but, you know, persuading, influencing is another way to think, well, this is what I need to do. You know, this is basically 1 + 1 = 2, okay? I need to sell to make money, okay? That's basically what you need to do. Otherwise, you're just giving it away and you're a charity, basically, okay? Regardless of your products or services, your business is based on having something to offer for exchange of money or other services, okay? So traditionally, your ILN business, what are we doing? We're, as I said, we're influencing other people. We're selling to other people that ILN is the solution for their problem. And when that prospect or that lead says, "Yep, you know what it is," what happens? They pay you $15. You obviously keep $7.50. The other $7.50 goes back to the company. That is an exchange. Okay, you've exchanged your solution for their problem. Okay, you've sold that. They've paid for that solution. You could do joint ventures. Okay, other things like that where maybe you're swapping a product for a product and obviously gaining, other new people or other new customers because of that. But you're still exchanging something. Okay, you're still exchanging something for either money or another service. Okay, so you still got to sell on some sort of level to make that transaction happen. Some people definitely do sell way too much. Okay, so if you're not a charity and you're not giving away, then you're at the other end of the spectrum. You're either pushing it too hard, and although some people might buy, as I said, it's because you've forced it down their throat. They will have buyer's remorse at some level. Okay, it may not be tomorrow, it might be a week from now, but they will have that buyer's remorse. Okay, so if you're at the other end of the spectrum where you're trying to force your product down because you're desperate, you're needy, or you're just coming across as that aggressive salesperson, people are gonna back away. They're gonna walk away because you're just too aggressive. Okay, so it's about finding that happy balance. Okay, happy balance between I have a lot of value and knowledge to give, but I'm not going to give it all away for free because at some point you're basically going to have to pay for the level of knowledge and experience that they want to solve their problem. Okay, so it's about finding that happy balance between the two. So as I said, think of yourself as information providers. Okay, basically you're messengers who work on cash on delivery. Okay, so just that analogy of the postman knocks on your door, they've got a package there for you. Obviously they're delivering you the information that you've sought. You're basically paying them cash on delivery. Okay, so you're the same sort of thing. You're basically on Facebook, you're knocking on people's Facebook page. Hey, how you doing? My name's Fraser, blah, blah, blah. Ultimately, I've got some information here. If you want it, cool, cash on delivery. Okay, it's kind of that sort of analogy of basically how this works, and certainly with your online business. As I said, you've got information, you need to exchange that either for money or another service. I mean, yes, there's the free offers, and I'm all for free offers, but they serve their place. But you got to think as well. I mean, Mark Hoverson wouldn't be a $10 million person if you gave everything away for free. At some point, you need to sell. Okay, at some point, you need to exchange that knowledge, that product, that service for an amount there. So I hope that's making sense for everyone. And as I said, if you've got questions, make sure that you're jotting them down. There will be, as I said, we're coming up to a bit of a break there. So if there is questions, I'll happily answer those for you. Cool. I was going to say your goal really is to provide information and have your prospect or customer come to their own conclusion, that your product or service is exactly what they need. Okay, so I've already touched on that, but that's really, as I said, the goal is to provide information. Okay, and have them come to a conclusion that, yeah, this information, this is going to help me out. Okay, cool, let's do business. Okay, that's where you want to kind of get to. And basically, when they do purchase and buy from you, as they continue to buy and follow you, you still need to continue to add value and provide new information. Okay, unfortunately, you see it all the time. People get a new customer, someone comes into your ILM business or whatever. You're so focused on trying to get the next person that you kind of forget the customers that you already have. Okay, so it is a balance. You still also want to bring new people into your business, but if you've already built a customer base, treat them with respect. Treat them with the dignity and I guess the understanding that as you continue to help them and build them to the level that they want to get to, they will continue to keep paying you for your knowledge and service. Okay, so if you can be loyal to your customers, they will stick with you for life. Okay, if you kind of get them in, thanks for your money, see you later, well, don't go crying when they obviously start dropping off and they unsubscribe from your newsletters or they go and join another biz op, because we hear it all the time. My sponsor didn't help me do this, my sponsor didn't help me do that. A lot of that is a result of they get them in, oh yeah, here you go, I've set you up now, or thanks for paying $5,000 for this product, and then they kind of leave them. Okay, so don't fall into that trap. Make sure that you are continually building your relationship with your customers, even though they've only bought maybe one or two things. You want to keep continuing to build that relationship there. Okay, and the final little myth there is, my lack of selling experience determines my potential to earn. Okay, again, this is a hidden myth. For sure, if you do have more skills or you've honed them better than the next person, yeah, you would be entitled to believe that you could earn more than that person, okay? I'm not going to dispute that. But if you are brand new and while you're still learning, leverage the skills of someone else in your team or your business, okay? Don't think that, okay, I don't have selling skills, so therefore, I've got to spend the next 6 months to a year learning how to sell before I can build my business. No, don't ever think like that. Leverage people within your business who know how to do that. So for instance, ILN, grab one of Vincent's videos, chop it, grab his little selling bit. That's what I've done. Okay, I've just gone into his video, edited it, and chopped out parts of his video where he talks about the blog. He talks about it's $14.95. Talks about the apprentice level. Vince is a great seller. Mark Hoverson is a great seller. So just think outside the box a little bit. If you're not that confident in selling, find someone who is, or use videos, use other leveraged items out there that will help you get that message across until you build up your confidence where you believe you can do it yourself. Okay, so don't ever feel that, oh, I need to go learn and I need to train for 6 to 12 months before I can actually start doing something. Leverage. Okay, ask a team member. Hey, you're really good at selling. Would you mind doing me a quick video, or could you help me do a voiceover? Whatever the case may be, just think outside the box and leverage. Even if you can, as I said, even if you can just grasp how the sales process works, you'll have far better results than the person who goes in blindly every time. So what I mean by that, and as I said, as you see in this presentation, if you can just visually in your mind understand that you need to go from point A to B to C to D all the way through to Z to make that sale, if you can just visualize that in your head and understand I am on a pathway to get to the end result, you'll have far better results than the person who just jumps into Facebook. Hey, Fraser, hi, I found you on this page. How you doing? Good. Like, if you have no idea what you're trying to achieve in that conversation, then you can expect to have no results, okay? So it's about just identifying what it is you're trying to actually have as an outcome with those conversations. Success, wealth, money, they're not bad things, okay? You do have to have a desire to want to be wealthy, and I'm not really going to go into too much detail. I think Mark Hoverson definitely does a far better job in explaining this. But again, just getting rid of that negative connotation that, oh, to be a seller, I have to be greedy and I have to want money. Money is just an exchange for an experience, okay? And this is probably the best way that I've had to come to terms with it. If you have a lack of money, to an extent, you're going to have a lack of experiences, okay? If you have a lot of money, then you're going to have a lot of more different experiences compared to a person who doesn't have a lot of money. So again, take that, or it's all about the money, and flip it into experiences, okay? If you're only making $100 a week or whatever, well, that limits your experience compared to if you're making $1,000 a week. Think how much more stuff you can do, things you can buy, friends you can help out, family, memories, all that sort of stuff, okay? So think of money, as I said, as just an exchange for an experience, okay? Greed is definitely bad. Again, I'm not going to go full in depth of that, but, to want money just for the sake of wanting money and to take money away from other people, obviously that's being greedy. That's not what this is about. This is about acquiring the level of money that's going to give you the experiences that you want in your life. Okay, I think that's probably the simplest and easiest way to put it. And basically earning an amount of money for the right reasons. As I said, it's actually something not to feel ashamed or guilty about. Again, there's a couple of really great Mark Hoverson videos out there where he actually goes into the whole Mark Hoverson mindset about this. If you're not aware of the videos I'm talking about, I can't even think the name off the top of my head. It's on YouTube. Just type in Mark Hoverson, wealth, and I'm sure those videos will come up. I think it goes about 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and it's a little snippet from a live chat that he does, and he actually kind of goes into more detail about money and wealth and stuff like that. So, and
Yeah,
obviously if you're in Ireland,
Paul, that
sorry,
guys, that video was called Mind Benders and Wealth.
Okay, yeah.
So check that out, right? That's powerful stuff. I just watched it today and blew my mind again. So definitely check that out. Anyways, Paul, back to you, man.
Cheers, man. Yeah. So as I say, it'll just help you if you're someone who struggles with the whole, the money thing and all that sort of stuff. This will help put it into better context for you, I believe, and it did for me anyway. Okay, so this is pretty much the start of the presentation. So the straight line. The straight line is basically the concept, and as I said, this was designed by Jordan Belfort, so I'm not going to take any credit for this whatsoever. When I actually saw him present this concept, this analogy of the straight line, as I said, it blew my mind, and it made me rethink about every other sales thing that I'd learned in the 10, 15 years previous. Okay, I'm not going to go into his complete straight line theory. What I've done is taken snippets of it and the kind of the core concept and added it to, I guess, the things that I believe are going to help you guys out right this moment. There is some videos of him on YouTube where he kind of talks about his straight line. He does have a product called the Straight Line Series, which you can buy. I'm actually trying to source it at the moment. It's a couple $100 for it. It's about, I think it's like an 8-module DVD and book presentation, stuff like that. But check him out. I will say this: he's straight down the line. He's very confronting. He'll tell you black and white how it is. Okay, so if you have a desire to be better at selling, I would highly recommend this guy. But understand going in that this guy as I said, he was making $1 million a week on Wall Street, so he definitely has that New Yorker attitude about him. So if you can get past that and actually just listen to what he's saying, as I said, you might find that you get a lot away from it. So definitely go Google and YouTube and that sort of stuff. Before we move into it, I just want to bring this to everyone's attention. Basically, there is 4 types of learning styles, okay? And you all need to be aware of this, especially when you are starting something new, because this is what's going to get you frustrated. And if you can understand this, it'll make things a little bit easier and understand that you are just on a journey of learning, okay? So the 4 steps, the 4 kind of phases that you go through is unconscious incompetence, okay? That basically means you don't know what you don't know, okay? So you have no idea about what you need to know about. It's basically what this first phase is. That's the first phase you'll go through in anything new that you're about to learn. This is the first phase, okay? From there, you move into conscious incompetence. That means you now know there's a shitload of stuff that you don't know about, okay? So at least you're aware of, okay, I need to go through this process, I need to learn a bit more about this, or, okay, there's these 6 steps that I need to kind of get through before I kind of fully understand it, okay? Conscious incompetence, you at least now know what you don't know. So now you can start focusing on, okay, prioritizing where do I need to go and start learning it. Consciously competent, obviously you now know. You know what you need to know and you're doing it, okay? You're not doing it with your eyes shut, you're not an expert at it, but you can do it, but you're still in that phase of, okay, I still just need to focus and concentrate on what I'm doing because I'm not 100% there yet, but I'm about 80 to 90. And then unconsciously competent, that's basically you can do it with your eyes shut, okay? So someone like Fraser, obviously with his method, he'd be at the unconsciously competent stage. He can basically get on Facebook, type out a message, he knows where the end result is, he knows where he wants to get to, any objections, anything that comes up, he basically knows how to get around it, okay? And again, simple analogy, remember when you learn to tie your shoes, okay? When mum or dad said, okay, it's time to tie your shoes, you had no idea. You just thought shoes just went on your foot. You had no idea that you had to loop it around and all that sort of stuff. So that was unconscious incompetence. Then when they showed you that, okay, you've got to kind of loop the bow around here and you tie it through here, okay, you were consciously incompetent. You now knew what you had to do, but you just weren't good at it. Consciously competent, okay, you start to tie your shoelaces, but if your mom or dad started asking you questions why you're trying to tie it, what do? You're like, shut up, I'm trying to focus on this, okay? That's consciously competent. You know what to do, you know how to do it, you just got to focus it. Now, you can have 10 conversations, you can be on Facebook, you can be watching a video, and you can tie your shoes, okay? So that's that unconsciously competent. That's where you want to get with your skill set. Cool. So the straight line, okay, so before you start messaging or talking face-to-face, you need to prep your mind and understand your goal and intentions, okay? So your goal is not to get anyone, okay? You're not there to, I need to sign this person up, but you should be of the mindset that everyone you speak to has the potential to be your next superstar in your business, okay? So that might sound contradictory, but it's actually 2 different things. So before you go in and start messaging someone, you don't say to yourself, this person must sign up with me, okay? That is the wrong mindset to go into. But when you look at that person and you're about to type in your message, you're like, hey, I'm going to message this person, and this person has the potential to say, yes, this person has the potential to be my next Fraser McDonald in my business, okay? So there's a different difference there, and I just want to make sure you guys are clear and understand that, okay? To help you understand that, your goal is to take a person from exposure to exposure and basically educate them at each one, okay, until they either join or they decide it's not for them. And again, you've got to be realistic. Not everyone is going to say yes to your opportunity. Doesn't matter how great you believe it is. Doesn't matter your belief. If you think this is the best thing since sliced bread, there are going to be people in the world who don't think that. And you just need to understand that. Now, I'm not saying when you get objections, think, oh, okay, this is one of those people that don't like my business. That's different. But if you've overcome their objections, you've answered their questions, and they still say, no, this is not really for me, cool. Leave it, okay? Your abundance mindset, you know there's 50 million other people out there that could potentially like it, okay? So you just need to understand that. Know your personal why, okay? This is a big one. You know, this will help you keep you focused and on track, plus help you deal with those objections, okay? So know your why. Why am I messaging 20 people a day? Why am I talking to this person? Why am I dealing with this person's objectives, okay? You're doing that for whatever your personal why is, whatever your reason is. You know, you want to be financially free, you want to be time free, you know, you want to send your kids to better school. Whatever your why is, know that going into every conversation, because when you get that moment of frustration, when you get that moment of someone's spamming you or they're trying to convert you to their thing, you've got to know, well, I'm doing this and I'm going to get through this because, you know, this person could say yes if I answer their objections, okay? So just know your why. And if you don't know your why yet, maybe it's a who. Who do you want to become, okay? Do you want to become someone who's really good at selling? Do you want to become someone who's a top recruiter? If that's so, then you need to go through the hard yards of, you know, failing, falling down and getting back up, pushing through, you know, the spammers and all that sort of stuff, okay? So if you don't have a why, think about who is it that you want to become, okay? And then finally, people don't like being sold to, but everyone is a buyer. So again, if you can just have that in the back of your mind, no one specifically likes being sold to, and you know that all the time. You know, you have door-to-door salesmen coming to your door, you're walking through a shopping mall, and there's those people with the beauty products, and they jump out in front of you like, hey, you know, you need this cream, blah, blah, blah. You know that they're just trying to push their product onto you, so you get all defensive, and you're like, no, I don't want to buy. But why are you in a shopping center? Because you're there to buy something, okay? You may not be there to buy that cream, but you're there to buy something. So people don't like being sold, but everyone is a buyer. If you can understand that and go into every conversation knowing that, it's going to greatly increase your chances there. So that's kind of the first little section. If there's any questions that you'd like answered on that, feel free to shout out now. Otherwise, we'll jump into the next bit.
Paul, I must admit, man, the first 40 minutes have absolutely been incredible.
Cheers,
seriously, man, that was some top of the line stuff. Richard says you're an absolutely brilliant teacher, which you are, man. The way you put things across is amazing. Like, it really is good.
Cool. Well, that's good to hear. Well, yeah, I mean, I've probably got another, 20 minutes, half an hour. I'm going to obviously try and go through this as quick as I can, but also make sure that I touch on the focus points there. So, yeah, if you guys have liked that, I think you're going to kind of be blown away by the next little bit here. So, I'll just give it a couple of seconds there if there's any questions. If you guys have questions, as I said, if you obviously just want me to get through this as quick as possible and say questions to the end, that's cool. Also, if you just want to jot down your questions, if you privately want to message me or whatever, you know, I'll be hanging out after this webinar anyway, so you can privately message me. I'm happy to go through things that if you don't want to discuss here, go through personally and stuff as well.
Yeah, guys, any questions, just post them in the thread I started. It's got the link to this hangout. All right, and then get a couple minutes and then we'll crack on.
Cool. All right, well, I'll jump into it. Obviously, Fraser, if you see a question based on that kind of first section there, just let me know and I'll happily stop and answer anything. Otherwise, as I said, we'll just jot them down, save it to the end there.
Yeah, and guys, one more thing. Make sure you're taking notes. I've got an unreal amount of notes, all right? Make sure you're taking them. So,
cool.
Yeah, crack on, man.
Excellent. All right, guys. So this is kind of my, as I said, my concept, taking Jordan Belfort's a straight line, but trying to give you guys a visual analogy, which I think will help. So, as I said, I've titled this The Yellow Brick Road, and it does have complete reference to The Wizard of Oz, and you'll see why in a second. Okay, so for me, I believe that there's definitely three stages of a selling process. Okay, so there's the open, which is obviously the engagement. You say hello to that person, whatever. The gathering intelligence. Okay, this is where the bulk of your conversation should be with someone. Okay, you're gathering intelligence, and then basically you come to the close. Okay, this is the meat and potatoes. You do everything in the opening, everything in the gathering intelligence to get to this one moment of the close. Without putting too much pressure, obviously this is where your job actually starts. Okay, it starts at the close when you get your objections. Everything else you do that beforehand, that's just a prerequisite. That's just required reading, as I say. Okay, that's just going through the motions. You need to do that when you get to the close. That's when your job actually starts. Okay, and I'll go through it in a bit more detail. So again, think The Wizard of Oz. I'm hoping that all of you have seen The Wizard of Oz, or at least have a concept of the movie The Wizard of Oz. So basically, you are Dorothy. Okay, you're trying to get yourself from where her house crashes to the Emerald City. Obviously, the Emerald City is the sale. It's green. It's where the money's at. Okay. So what did Dorothy have to do? She had to progress through a series of different lands, and she had to overcome witches and other obstacles. And she did that by asking questions and also getting help from the Scarecrow, Tin Man, the Cowardly Lion, all that sort of stuff. Okay, so just visualize that analogy. Okay, you're Dorothy. At the start of the sale, you're in Munchkin Land. Okay, that's the start of the sale. You now need to get to the Emerald City, which is the sale. Okay, and I'm going to go through all these PowerPoints. At the end, I'll actually have a visual representation of this. So if some things aren't making sense at the moment, they will when you get to the visual representation at the end there. Okay, so just bear with me for that. So like Dorothy, when most people start a sales presentation, they feel like they've probably been spun around in a tornado and they have no idea where they're going or how they're going to get there. Okay, so again, when Dorothy gets out of the house, she's utterly confused. She's in a new land. She has no idea. I bet a ton of you feel like that when you start using Fraser's Facebook message. You go in, hello, my name's Paul, and I came across your page, and I just want to network and blah blah blah. The end result is you want to hopefully get that person as a sale, or you want to make a connection with that person, but you're probably not understanding that you need to go from point A to point B to point C to kind of do that. So like Dorothy, as I said, you probably spun around, have no idea, and hopefully this yellow brick road analogy is going to clear that all up for you. So as I said, I'm going to show you a way there to train yourself and basically how to stay on the yellow brick road and get yourself to the Emerald City. Like in the movie, anytime Dorothy went off the yellow brick road, she normally got herself in a bit of trouble. So it's about staying on that yellow brick road and getting to where the money's at. So the three stages, as I said, the open. Okay, so the first stage there is the open. Obviously, you want to build rapport, you want to give a compliment, and you want to establish authority. Okay, that's kind of the three mindsets and the three kind of objectives that you want to do with the open. Okay, so we move into the build rapport. This is not a one-time thing. Okay, I just want to make this very clear. Building rapport is not a checklist. It's not, hi, how you doing? My name is Paul. Nice to meet you. Oh, I see you like the same music as me, and then you go tick, I've built rapport. That is not building rapport. Okay, it just doesn't happen in the first 5 minutes, and you don't have to worry about it ever again. Okay, rapport is built all the way through the conversation. I'll say that again, all the way through the conversation. Okay, even when a person's joined, you're still building rapport. Okay, you think Fraser still builds rapport with people who've joined in Ireland? Absolutely. Okay, because he understands the power of obviously building that connection, building that friendship, building that relationship with that person. Okay, if you think that rapport is just, hi, how you doing? And then you tick the box and then you just talk business, of course that person more than likely is probably not going to buy with you, okay? Or probably not going to want to follow you anymore because you haven't really made a connection with them, okay? So rapport, again, it's not liking the same common interests or commenting on how they're on holidays last week and they got some nice photos. That is chit chat. Okay, that's just establishing that you might have some common interests with that person. That is not building rapport. Rapport is about establishing you as the expert in their eyes. Okay, so coming into a conversation, how you build rapport is obviously we're all online marketers, we're all network marketers, we're building a business. Building rapport is coming across to that person of, as I said, you've basically established authority in their eyes. So you're someone who maybe knows that a little bit more than them, And because you know that a little bit more, when they ask you a question and you can answer it, and they go, oh, awesome, this poor guy knows, an answer that I've been trying to find. That's building rapport, because now they're instantly connected with you, like, oh, okay, this person's got the answers that I've been looking for, or cool, this guy knows some stuff that I didn't even know about, or cool, this guy's doing something, different. Like, I thought I knew like X, Y, Z about blogging, but wow, Paul's just come along and shown me that I can do A, B, C as well. That's building rapport. Okay, that is how you establish that connection. And I'm sure Fraser will attest to this. It's not about, hey man, I'm Fraser from Scotland and I Braveheart. It's about, hey, the way that you're kind of marketing to me probably is not the best way. Have you ever tried, just talking about, establishing yourself as someone who knows, X, Y, Z about blogging, or hey, I'm Fraser, I've built a lot of my team because I know a lot about Facebook, recruiting. Is that something that, you know how to do? Because I could happily give you some ideas and pointers. That's Fraser building rapport with the person, okay? Not, hey, I like, the same music or whatever.
Yeah, definitely. I just want to add something in there, guys. Right, this is a golden nugget for you. It's coming down to coming across as the authority figure. Right? If you're speaking to people and you identify that they're having a problem with like generating leads, or they can't get any sales, all right, and you can help them out, the best thing you can ask them is, can I coach you on that? That question puts you in an instant authority position. I learned that from Mark Hoverson. All right. So when you come across people that are struggling, say, can I coach you on that? And that's you got control straight away. All right. Yeah. So write that question down or remember it, because that is a top tip for you. Right. So, and then you've got to add to that, Paul. I mean, I know you definitely agree with that
one. Yeah, definitely. And even from that, I mean, Mark gives another example. If you feel a little bit, well, I'm not really a coach, or you feel in your own mindset, oh, I don't really think I'm at that level, just say something like, can I give you some insight based on my experience? That's just coming across as a friendly way, but also, again, you're still establishing that rapport that, yeah, I've got some experience and I'm happy to share what I've experienced. Obviously that person might say, nah, I don't really know who you are, go away. Okay, cool, whatever, they're lost. But if they say, oh yeah, cool, well, what is your experience? Oh, well, I've been online for X amount of time, or yeah, blogging is my kind of thing. That's what I'm really confident at, and I've just noticed that, you've been blogging this way. Hey, you should maybe try doing it like this. Okay, that sort of thing. So if you don't feel confident saying coach, feel like, hey, based on my experience, something like that.
Yeah, definitely. Sure.
Okay, so the next part, as I said, so you're trying to build rapport. Compliment. Okay, this is like golden rule number one. If you've ever read the book How to Win Friends and Influence People from Dale Carnegie, which if you haven't, you really should. This is like the number one thing. If you want to break down that invisible barrier of you knocking on someone's Facebook page, basically cold calling them is what you're doing, and you obviously want to get your foot in the front door, add a compliment. And think about it. No one does this anymore, really. Obviously, except for the gurus and the people who know that this is how effective this is. So be different. Be different from all the other spammy people that are doing the same thing as you and messaging people. Give them a compliment, okay? And you will be remembered for this. All right, trust me, you will be remembered for it. Now, be sincere, obviously, and be simple and be to the point. Okay, so be sincere. This might take a little bit of research, as I say here on your Facebook page. Before you message someone, maybe just have a quick scan of the page. And Fraser talks about this. When he goes to message someone, he opens them up in a new tab, so he's got that window there. So even as he's typing a message, he could maybe kind of left eye looking, oh, okay, this person's into soccer, or okay, this person likes the same sort of music as me, or whatever, or hey, they've got a really cool timeline picture or something like that. Okay, I'll clarify as well. You don't have to give the compliment in that initial first message of, oh, hey, my name's Fraser, and hi, Ben, I just came across your profile picture. That's a really nice smile you have, blah, blah, blah. You don't have to always do it then. You can also do it when they respond, give them a compliment and say, yeah, I checked out your page. I wanted to connect with you because, yeah, I really liked your timeline photo. It looks like you were having, a bit of fun there on the beach, or you were surfing, or, tell me more about that. Just give them a compliment of something, okay? But just be sincere and be simple and to the point. Don't long-wind it like, oh, yeah, like I saw that you're at the beach and you're obviously a good surfer, so when you were surfing, like, have you been doing that for long? And that's really cool, and I'd love to learn. Or, it looks like you'd be someone who could teach me. Like, you're getting yourself off track. Just simple, stupid, you'll be fine, okay?
Yeah.
And again, as I said, think outside the box. If you need to, quickly just scan through their Facebook page, look at a few photos. Something that they say in their first message back to you, do they say something that you can compliment on? Give them a compliment, or something about their business opportunity, okay? So a lot of people have negative thoughts about, other businesses that are out there. Be different, okay? If they're in Empower Network, regardless of what you personally think about it, or if they're in Wake Up Now or Explosion or whatever the hell it is, say something. Oh, I see that you're in Explosion. Awesome. I see those, I see that business is doing really, really well. How have you been doing in it? That's a compliment. And that's going to be someone who's like, oh, okay, he's noticed. Or, oh, wow, like, yeah, he thinks I'm doing really well in this, whether they are or not, okay? Just, as I said, don't put your negative stuff into what you're trying to talk to people about.
Yeah, guys, you need to be 100% positive, because if you've got an ounce of negativity in you, it will come across in your message. Trust me, I've been there, I've experienced that. Just put so much energy into that first message, all right? Trust me on that one. Right, just put your personality into it. Like, when I first started, I was doing the whole, got to be professional, got to have capital letters and punctuation marks. But, I just wasn't me. Like, when I'm saying, how are you, it's like, I'm doing you like you, a letter, you. All right? Because that's just me. You don't need to try and be someone you're not. Just get your personality out there. People will relate to you better. That's just the way it works. Even though it's just over Facebook, it's still the same thing as talking to someone in real life. All right. I mean, that's another top tip I learned from Mark. All right. All that I'm sharing with you now, guys, right? Because I'm going hardcore into Mark's content. I'm sharing with you what I'm learning from him. All right. So yeah, keep that in mind.
All right, definitely. That's it, man. Okay. Obviously, I'm going to try and keep this still short and sweet. I mean, I don't want to go any more than sort of 90 minutes, so I'll quickly sort of fly through a couple of these ones. Established authority. Again, I think I've kind of covered that, but this may seem difficult for you, but just give it a go, okay? At the end of the day, you're not going to know what's going to work for you until you actually go out there and try it, okay? And if someone, messaged you back like, what the hell are you talking about, or whoa, whatever, okay, you may have shot yourself in the foot, you may have blown it, cool, just end the conversation, whatever, leave it be, okay? And maybe, just don't reply to them back or whatever, maybe in a couple of months' time, come back to them when you're feeling a bit more, confident within yourself or something like that. Again, exactly what Fraser was saying there with your enthusiasm. Do this by what you say and the tone within your words, okay? So it's the same analogy when people who are working call centers, they're told to smile on the phone when they're talking because that smile comes through. It's the same thing when you're typing your message, just with your tone. So again, as Fraser said, using text lingo, instead of saying the word you, Y-O-U, just using the letter U, that's kind of a tone. You just sort of, hey, I'm a little bit laid back if that's who you are, okay? If you are a little bit more professional and you want to type out the full word, whatever, do it. But just understand, as I said, that tone of what you type does come across. And we all know that, in particular with Facebook, messages can be misread and misconceived. So again, just bear that in mind, that what you're saying, if you're trying to crack a little bit of a joke or something, just make sure that person's actually going to get your joke and not take offense to it or something like that, okay? Again, you're just trying to come across as a person, willing to help them out through, as I said, your knowledge and experience, okay? Not as an arrogant person that, oh, what I know is right and what you're doing is wrong. That's not the way to approach it. More, as I said, hey, I've had some experience in this, or yeah, I've gone to some courses, I've done some, extra sort of education on this. Hey, you might find this tip useful, whatever the case may be, okay? Don't use titles or positions, not, hey, I'm a leader within ASF, blah, blah, blah. People don't care, and they're just going to be scared off by it, okay? You can give a brief overview of your history and experience as to if someone's kind of like, oh, well, can you give me some background? Hey, if you were a CEO of a company, say you were a CEO of a company, but obviously, that company might have been selling, I don't know, stamps, but now you're online doing something completely different. So obviously, your CEO title of selling stamps doesn't really bear too much, on the internet world. So, as I said, be yourself. Don't lie, don't embellish facts. But as I said, you can get a little bit of your story and history there, and obviously stories build rapport as well. And then again, as I said, it's a fine line, but you're basically contacting these people under the friendly flag, but obviously with the intention of doing business. And again, that's just a mindset thing. You know, these people you're speaking to, if they're in these Facebook groups of MLM and, you know, advertise your business here, blah, 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 they want to build a business too. So if you come across asking some business questions in your conversation, hopefully they're going to respond, because if they don't, then it's pretty clear that they're not a business builder. It's pretty clear that they're there for the money, or they have no idea what they're doing, okay? But that's how you want to basically do it, is start asking some business questions within your conversation, okay? And this is, as I said, we're going to go into now. So gathering intelligence, so again, you kind of 3 points in that. You also want to ask questions. You want to find their pain or pleasure points. This is not a sexual thing. This is more, as I said, what they're actually struggling with or what they're having success with, okay? You want to know what they're having success with, so then you know, is your business actually going to apply to them? If they're already having a mountain of success and they're obviously doing something pretty well, you know, they may not want to add anything else to it, or what Ireland might offer to them, or what EMP might, you know, offer to them may not be what they're looking for, because they've already got a successful formula running. So you've got to bear that in mind. And basically, gathering intelligence, you want to find out their story, okay? You don't need to know from the day they were born to where they are right now today. More just what's been their kind of experience online. Again, what are the hurdles, what are the successes they've gone through, you know, what kind of companies have they been associated with. That, as I said, starts giving you information that you can start using for, you know, your fuel as to, yeah, cool, I'm going to hit this person up about having a look at Ireland, or, you know what, this person's probably more experienced than me, or whatever. I'm just going to make a connection. I'm not really going to, you know, try and, you know, push my thing onto this person right at this point in time, okay? So that's what you're trying to find out.
Yeah.
Cool, so ask questions. As I said, your goal is to find out as much as you can about their business, you know, how it's doing, what challenges they face, what successes they've had, etc. Again, you don't want to sound like you're some FBI, you know, guy interrogating them, okay? You want to keep it between the rapport and the gathering intelligence lines. And when I say see picture, you'll see what I mean when I get to the visual at the end, okay? So you don't want to come in, hey, Fraser, you know, blah, 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 want to network, and then Fraser replies back, oh, yeah, hey, Paul, how you doing, what's up? You don't want to come in, so Fraser, how do you get leads, or, you know, how successful are you in your business, and, you know, how long have you been doing this? If you come in straight away with questions, they're going to be like, okay, this guy's spamming, or this guy's trying to get me, you know. If you come in, as I said, more naturally, like, oh, awesome, Fraser, I see that you're at ILN. Oh, awesome. How do you get your leads through that? Like, I've never heard of ILN. You know, just ask a dumb question, but you're coming across pretty blasé about it, but you're going to get the response that you want. And Fraser's going to go, oh, yeah, like, oh, I've got this Facebook method that I kind of use, and it's been working really well with me. Okay, so Fraser knows Facebook. Okay, awesome. Oh, yeah, Fraser, so, like, how does that work? Can you tell me, like, what do you do with your Facebook method? Mm-hmm. Oh, I do this, I do that. Oh, you should have a look at my link or whatever, okay? You're gathering, as I said, information so that you can use that to basically present them with your, you know, your business for, hopefully, if they have a problem, Ireland's going to be that solution to it, okay? Mm-hmm. Again, be strategic, you know, be smart about the questions you ask, you know, whether you believe in, ask questions where you believe your product or service can provide them with a solution, okay? So remember, you're in control, you're the expert. So again, this is what I'm talking about when you guys are getting on there before you message someone, you want to know the end result. So the questions you're going to ask these people over a period of time, you're trying to get to them to find out, is Ireland going to be a solution for them, okay? That's really what you're trying to find out. So ask questions that are geared towards that. So if someone's an Empower network, you're not going to say to them, oh, cool, so you're with Empower, so you probably need a blog site, hey. Like, duh, like they're already in Empower, they've got a blog. So therefore, you talking about Ireland having 5 blogs, they're probably not going to care, okay? Mm. But if you come across saying, oh yeah, like I understand Empower, you know, they're like a pretty good, you know, blogging platform, I see them everywhere. You know, they're really good at, you know, the 2 days are really good with their marketing training. But one thing I've noticed, you know, and I've been in Empower before, is they don't really talk about how to actually, you know, run a business. Have you ever thought about, you know, the ins and outs of, you know, actually getting your bank account set up and all that sort of stuff? And they might be like, oh, no, I just get paid into the system and I just spend my money. It's like, oh, well, cool. You know, well, in my team, I've actually got a guy who's, you know, a bit like Dave and Dave. He's made $10 million, but what he actually teaches me is, you know, how to, you know, do the accounts and business, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so you're asking questions that, as I said, are going to lead you down a road that you know the answers for, and that they're going to go, oh, yeah, you know what, Empower doesn't really teach me that. Oh, I wonder what this island thing is. You know, I wonder what this guy's talking about. That's how you want to kind of be gauging your questions, okay?
Yeah, guys, the person that's asking the questions is in control of the conversation. If you're in control of the conversation, you're directing it to where it's going to go.
Mm,
Right? That is
definitely.
powerful right there. Make sure you're the one that's asking the questions. You don't want to be the one that's getting asked them. Right? At the start, maybe when you're building a relationship, but later on down the line, that's where you need to take over, be the
Mm.
dominant force. Right?
Definitely. And I'm not going to really cover this training because I could do a whole thing on it. But, you know, I know that people get asked questions by, you know, the people they're speaking to, and they get freaked out. Like, then they start answering those questions. That's fine. Answer their questions. But when you answer your, this doesn't sound retarded, but answer your question with a question, okay? So if someone says, oh, hey, well, that's great that you're doing ILN, but have you ever considered, you know, looking into Empower Network? Your answer would then be, oh, no, I've done that sort of thing. Say that, okay, no, I've done Empower Network, but why would you think Empower is going to do this? Or what, you know, you basically want to re-ask a question within your answers so that, again, you establish that control. And if there's someone who just keeps asking you questions, you know, maybe it's not worth your time, okay? Because obviously they're just one-track mind. They're not obviously being open to having a conversation. They're just trying to get their agenda across. So again, I'll touch on this in 2 seconds in the next sort of slide, but that might be a time where you go, all right, this guy's not worth my time, cut him loose, okay? But as I said, we could do a whole training just on that topic alone, but maybe we'll do that in the future.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, obviously find their pain, pleasure points again. So your question should be telling you things about what they've struggled with or had success with. Again, this is just fuel for your fire, okay? Is there room for you to investigate more about a topic, go deeper, okay? So if they give you something about, oh yeah, you know, like I struggled, you know, online for like 6 months before I found Empower Network, and, you know, Empower Network's turned it all around, instead of just going, oh, okay, well, they're sold on Empower now, go, oh, well, what was your struggle in that 6 months? You know, you obviously got a story. Tell me about it. Because people love talking about themselves, okay? If you can understand that. So, and they've probably never been asked that question. They've probably never been asked, well, what did you struggle with, or what was that experience like, you know? Because you come across that you'll care about what they're going through, hey, ILN might be something that you can help them with. Well, okay, you've struggled, and now you're with Empower Network, but hey, don't you think there'd be other people out there too that are probably struggling? Maybe ILN could be something that you could bring to your team to help them get through those struggles. Maybe Empower Network's not filling that void, whatever the case. Okay, so just as I said, you want to listen, and if there's something there you think, hey, I can go a little bit deeper with that and actually get that person talking a little bit more, ask a question. Just ask a question, okay? Be empathetic. Again, relate to their pain. Share your experience or story. If you don't have an experience or story that relates to that, share someone within the ASF team that you know. Oh, you know, I know that Fraser was in the Navy and he did this, or I know that Corey did that, or I know whoever, Janice, you know, is a mum and she did this, whatever. You can leverage other people's stories, okay, to obviously build that rapport and build that connection with people as well, okay? Obviously, don't embellish, don't lie, don't make up, you know, shit, because you'll get found out, okay?
Yeah.
And then, as I said, by sharing those stories, you know, and understanding theirs, as I said, that's still building rapport, which is ultimately what you want to continue to keep doing. So their story, again, you want to discover their story, what's been their experience online, okay? You know, they might give you some bullshit stories, you know, and tales of living it big and making big money and all that sort of stuff. You're going to get that, okay? This is where you need to either decide if it's worth your time pursuing this, or, you know, if they have been responsive to your questions and they're generally, you know, giving you answers and stuff, and they've kind of been receptive to your coaching, you know, they could be someone worth continuing with. But again, you just got to be kind of mindful of that, you know, whether it is worth your time. Because again, time is your most valuable asset and resource. You got to decide whether it's worth spending with a tire kicker, a dead shit, or is it someone that, hey, they've been responsive, maybe I can keep kind of probing and, you know, get a little bit further with this person that, you know, they might actually understand what I'm trying to, you know, say and stuff like that. Again, common similarities, experiences, you know, common ground. You know, this is, again, a chance to share your experience and knowledge with them. So this is, again, I said this is not really rapport building. It's not. But again, if there is common similarities, whether it's music, movies, you know, went to the same school, went, you know, from the same state, same country, whatever the case may be, that all adds fuel. And as I said, you might be able to find a common sort of ground there where you can obviously engage them a little bit more and get more of their story to obviously use for your knowledge. So what we've learned so far, again, is touch on there. So again, your goal is not to get anyone, but everyone has the potential to be the next superstar of your team. Okay. By building rapport, asking questions, and sharing stories, we're not coming across as selling. Rather we're coming across as information providers. Okay. The more you ask questions, the more they get to talk. Okay. I already spoke about that. This is key. People love talking about themselves. The more you can do this, the more they think that you're awesome and that you're a really good conversationalist. As stupid as it sounds, the more you ask a question, the more they talk, and the more you just sit there and listen. Again, this is kind of face to face, but you do the same. You can do the same on Facebook. Send them a question. They might give you like a 3-paragraph answer. Great. Read through it. Ask them just a simple question. Oh yes, what was your experience with that? Or stupid as it sounds, someone sends you a 3-paragraph thing about their answer or their story. Hit them up with, oh, so tell me more. Okay, because then you're probing more, and they're going to go, tell me more. Okay, this guy's actually really wants to know my story. Oh, well, okay, yeah, like when I struggled, I had to go through this, and they're going to tell you more. You might think, man, this is a waste of my time. It's not. If you're prepared to be that listener, put in a bit of time to listen to their story, you will find so much more about them, and it's going to be so much easier when it actually comes time to you presenting your business to them, okay? And then again, showing empathy for their story, their struggles, allows you to become a part of their inner circle, as we call it. Okay. So we're nearing the end. So this is it, the close. Any questions before I quickly jump to this? Fraser, anything come through, or happy to save it till the end?
There's nothing yet, man. So just
Okay.
rattle through to the end, and then we'll get the questions
Cool.
in.
No worries. All right, guys. So this is it. This is the close. This is obviously, as I said, this is where your job starts. When you get the objections, when you get the no, I'm not interested, this is actually where your job as an online marketer, as an affiliate of Ireland, whatever you want to call yourself, this is where it starts. Okay, so basically you want to offer a trial close. You want to basically know, are they ready to buy? Do they need more information, or do you need to cut them loose? Okay, and obviously overcome objections is the main focus, the main hurdle you're going to get in the close section. So trial close, okay, so throughout the whole process of building rapport, speaking with them, gathering the information, you're basically looking for opportunities to offer a trial close. This is where, as I said, you need to listen and you need to be prepared for it, and you need to have basically the guts and the courage to ask them a trial close question, okay? Because sometimes if you miss that window, you may not get it back, okay? Even if you ask a trial question and obviously they give you an objection or they say no, that's okay. Like, it's not the end of the world. They might sort of, worst case scenario, they might sort of stop talking to you for a bit, or they'll kind of change the subject. And if they change the subject, okay, you know that trial close didn't quite work for you. So just keep, chatting to them, whatever the case may be. All right. As I said, you're there basically to test the waters. Okay, see where they are in the whole buying emotion of the conversation that you guys have had. Okay, see if they are ready to buy, if they need more information, or you're going to cut them loose. As I said, use what you've learned from them as part of your trial close. So again, find out things about their story. If you can use part of your story in regards to that trial close, then obviously that's why you went through that whole process of finding out more about that person, okay? So remember, you want them to think as if they're going to buy, all right? So when you're speaking to them, speak as if they've already bought your product and that they're at that future destination of now having the benefit of your product and service. So what I mean by that is basically if you're talking to them about Ireland and like maybe watch the homepage link or they've watched a webinar, whatever the case may be, and they come back and they've got some questions or whatever, just say, oh yeah, exactly. So Fraser, when you do get started, the first thing you would be doing is obviously the $1 Million Day. I know you've got some questions there about what is the $1 Million Day. Well, when you get started, that's the first thing you do. And obviously you'll go through that and then you'll have a better understanding, okay? Not, oh, well, Fraser, yeah, like if you decide to come in, what I'd probably get you to do would probably be the $1 Million Day, but that's just very wishy-washy. If you just say, yeah, Fraser, when you start, the first thing you do is a $1 Million Day, that'd be the first thing you do, and you'd go through that process. You're speaking to them as if they're already signed, and that's the first action they're going to take. That obviously puts into their brain like, oh, yeah, okay, well, that's what I'm going to do. And so then when you say to them, cool, well, you want to do your $1 Million Day? Well, we obviously just need to get you sorted out with your activation code to get into the back office there. So $40.95, I'll send you the link now to put your credit card details in. Like, How simple is that? And you've already planted the seed that that's what they're going to do. They're going to do the $1 million day when they first get in. Okay, so that's how you kind of, as I said, trying to drop that trial close in, but you've already kind of set up yourself for a win there because you're speaking as if they're already in there. The more info, sign up or cut loose. Again, so you remember your objective is to take this person from exposure to exposure. You'll see exactly what I mean when I get to the visual at the end there. If they need more info, provide a different modality of info. So what I mean by that is if you send them the link to the ILN homepage, which I will be honest I don't think is the best sales page thing that's out there. I know they have sort of tweaked it, but you've got to remember a lot of people are typically used to a little video, you put your name and email address into a box, and then you get sent another video, you get sent some sort of an email sales letter thing, okay? So again, think outside the box. Just because ILN has the homepage doesn't mean you can't go and create your own thing, and that's exactly what I've gone and done. So you know, maybe someone takes information better through an audio, so maybe you could do a quick 10-minute audio to say, hey, here's a link to an MP3, or check out my blog, there's a MP3, there's a SoundCloud bot you can listen to, or something like that. You know, another webinar, a different type of link. You know, talk about the conference call. If it's the Wednesday night, you know, ILN's doing their conference call. Hey, you want to know more? Here's a link to a conference call. Just come along, check it out. You know, at least it's for free. You at least get an idea. You know, sales page, ebook, hangout. Same with the ASF, when it's the ASF public ones. Hey, you want to know more about ILN and specifically what my team does? Hey, we've got a free webinar on tonight. You should come check it out. Okay, no harm, no foul. They like what they see. They've already come in under your link. They'll buy, and you get started. Away you go. Okay. When they are ready to purchase and you've kind of tested it out and you know that, just move directly to the purchase page. You know, get them started. Don't, you know, start stuffing around and kind of killing the sale. You know, by talking to them more and missing that opportunity. Okay. Again, if your product or service is not for them, let it go. Okay, just let it go. Don't try and fight it or convince them, because you'll end up just doing more harm. And you just got to be, as I said, mindful of that is a possibility and just where you are in that conversation. Okay. And the final one there is, if you know someone who could help them with their product or service, refer them. Okay, and yes, refer them. So again, what I mean by that is, if ILN is not the solution for their problem, but you know Fraser deals with magnetic sponsoring EMP, and that's what that person's looking for. They're looking for more attraction-based marketing information. Say, hey, you know what? I know ILN may not be the thing for you, and that's cool. That's no dramas. But hey, a really good buddy of mine, Fraser, he's actually involved with magnetic sponsoring. Have you ever heard of that? What they actually really specialize in is attraction marketing. And you know, from the conversation that you and I have just had, that sounds like more what you're looking. Hey, you should check it out. Like, it's free. What I'll do is I'll quickly speak to Fraser, or give him Fraser's Facebook page or whatever link, and just say, hey, touch base with Fraser. I'll let him know that you're going to come across and say g'day. You know, check it out. And you obviously may not get the sale because you're referring them to Fraser, or you're referring them to someone else. Maybe someone else, they want to do Wake Up Social or Explosion, or whatever the case may be. But you're planting that seed in that person's mind that, okay, well, this person's not trying to get me because he's referring me to someone else. This guy's pretty cool for doing that. And also, if you help them out and they actually then go join Fraser and EMP or whoever, they're going to come back to you and go, hey, you know what? Next time they're thinking about something, they might go, oh, remember that Paul guy? He referred me to Fraser, but actually I have this guy here. I reckon it might actually really be suited to work with Paul. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing for him. So again, you're just building that relationship. You're being that nice guy or that nice girl, and you're just setting up future relationships. So really simple, stupid. A lot of people don't do that. Don't ever be scared to refer them to someone else or to another product if it suits what it is. Okay. All right. Overcome objections. Again, so this is a buying signal. Okay. So if they've got objections, at least you know they've listened to what you've said. Okay. So that's a good thing. People see objections as a bad thing and they get all freaked out. It's a positive. Okay. You know that they've at least listened to you, or they've at least gone and looked at the link, and they're actually coming back to you now with questions. Okay, so at least you know they've gone and actually looked at it, and not just, oh yeah, whatever. Okay. Again, objections are merely just a defensive tactic that people use to stop others from finding out the truth or damaging their ego. Okay, that's really why people put up objections. Think of yourself when you walk into a store and the salesperson goes, hey, can I help you? And you're like, no, I'm just looking. that's an objection. That's just you defensively. No, I don't want to be bothered. Okay, so just put yourself in their shoes. Best solution that I've seen, obviously, use Mark's 21 info blueprint. The 21 answers there to objections. If you're not in a circle, that's where it is. I'm not trying to sell you or tell you to upgrade, but it is really, really good information, and obviously gives you a lot of ways to overcome the common objections that you're going to find in this industry. As I said, your job starts at no. Okay, so everything you do all prior to that, when that person says, no, this isn't for me, or no, I'm not interested, or no, I don't have the money for this, that's when your job starts. Okay, so understand that and be prepared for that. Okay, and as I said, don't be afraid to ask more questions to clarify what they've said, or to probe deeper until they reveal their true objection. Again, I could do a whole conference on this. I'm sure Fraser could do a whole webinar on this. I'm not going to go into too much detail with that, but just understand that just because they said no doesn't mean that that no is their real reason why. Again, remember, they're just putting up a defensive wall, okay? So ask them a question. Oh, okay, well, why don't you? Well, what didn't you like about Ireland, or why is this not the right thing for you? Just ask them a question, okay? They'll either do one of two things. They'll either just be like, yeah, they're not going to answer, or they'll actually give you the real reason, and then you at least know, okay? Again, you want to go for those no's. Basically, you win either way, okay? So if they say yes, awesome. You get started, happy days. If they say no, well, again, you at least know where you stand with them, okay? And you basically learn how you can improve to get better, okay? Are you marketing to the right people? If you're getting a ton of no's because you're targeting one particular Facebook group, some, spam your MLM link here Facebook group, and everyone keeps saying no, 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 it may not be you, okay? It may not be your presentation. It may not be how you're conversing with them. It could just be the caliber of people in that group, okay? So if you're getting constant no's, maybe just ask yourself, am I marketing the right people? Because ILN is mindset. It's training. So I'm going to be blunt. If you're talking to dead shits who don't understand mindset, they're probably going to tell you no, because they're going to be like, oh, what's this? No, I just want some penny matrix thing where I can make $7, okay? So ask yourself that question. Oh, okay, well, maybe I need to try Fraser's tactic where I'm speaking to people who like Think and Grow Rich books, or I'm talking to people who are fans of big leaders. They're probably a bit more up on the mindset thing. Okay, so you just got to ask yourself that question. Don't get emotionally attached. Use the SW principle. Some will, some won't. So what? Okay, don't overuse that mindset, because that can lead you to being, oh, I guess no, this person wasn't interested. This is more so that you don't get emotionally attached. This is more so that you just bounce back from when a person says no to you. Okay, they said no. Great. Don't worry about it. Move on to the next person. The next person will say yes. That's just what that's there for. One little overcoming objective question that I learned a couple of weeks ago, which has actually been really, really good, is if they give you a question like, oh, I don't really understand what Ireland's about, or I don't know if I can afford this at the moment, or whatever. Just say to them, will the answer to this question be all you need to get started? So you're asking them, if I answer this question, is that all you need to know to get started? And that's like a trial close there as well. Again, if they say no, it's still a win-win situation, because if they say yes, yep, if you answer this question, I'll be ready to get started. Great, answer the question, they're in, okay? If they say no, well, again, at least you know where they are, where you stand. Are you wasting your time, you're wasting their time, or you get to actually dig deeper for the real reason. So a no is still a positive, okay? So just, again, that's why I put that in there. So just to recap all that presentation there for you. So your objectives, as I said, through the 3 stages are to build rapport, compliment, establish authority, ask questions, find their pain, pleasure points, what's their, find out their story, share yours, offer the trial close, and move. Do they need more info? Are they ready to sign up, or do you need to cut them loose and basically overcome the objections there? Okay. And there's a final little tip there as we close this up. So every interaction is a sales call. Okay. Either you're selling them on why they need X, Y, Z. So you're selling them why they need ILN, or they make sponsoring, or exposure, or whatever it is you're doing, or they're selling you on why they don't. Okay. So go into every conversation understanding that, okay? Again, no one likes to be sold to, but everyone is a buyer. You're not trying to get anyone, but everyone has that potential to be your next superstar. And basically, you hold the key. You are an expert. Whether you believe it or not, you need to start believing it, okay? And I don't care if you just came in today, or you've been in here for 6 months or a year. you are an expert, because there is brand new people out there who are coming online into this industry for the first time today, and hey, you may even have 1 day of knowledge more than that person. You're still an expert in their eyes. Okay, so if they don't want it or need it, that's their bad luck. You got to come in, as I said, that you're holding, you're dangling that carrot out in front of that donkey. Okay, you've got what they want. Okay, so that's it. Any questions before I quickly show the visual, or do you want me to say that to the end, Fraser?
Yeah, just say it till the end, man. Just finish all
Cool.
you've got to say, and then we'll get the questions.
Yeah, wrap this up. Cool. All right, guys, so as I said, this is the kind of the yellow brick road straight line theory. So it looks a little bit messy, but let me just explain it. Can you see my mouse kind of swirling around there?
Yeah, man, I can see it, yeah.
Okay, I just got to use it. All right, so straight line, as I said, you're here at the beginning, you're about to message someone. Ultimately, you just want to follow a straight path and get to here, the end will see the sale, okay? As I said to you right at the beginning, there was 8 kind of steps within the 3 phases that you want to go through. So I'll quickly touch on those. So number 1, you want to be in a hurry, okay? And a lot of this I've taken away from the kind of network marketing aspect, but it still applies to this. You still want to be in a hurry, okay? You don't want to think that you're just trolling Facebook and you're sitting there for 12 hours a day. Even though that's probably what Fraser does, I'm sure he doesn't come across that he's, to his people that, hey, I'm just sitting here messaging, 1,000 people today, okay? So be in a hurry, just, whatever. Hey, Fraser, just happened to come across your page. I'm actually about to jump on a webinar, but I just want to quickly remind myself that I wanted to touch base with you. Hey, let's network, let's connect. Hey, a quick message like that gives you that urgency that you're a busy person, you're doing stuff, okay? Number 2, again, the compliment doesn't always have to be in the first engagement. It can be as soon as they answer you back, pay them some sort of a compliment based on, their Facebook page, what you've seen, what you've heard, whatever. And then 3, you want to make the invitation. So again, this is in your whole building rapport and obviously gathering information. What you're basically trying to set up is getting their permission for you to give them a link to show them ILN, okay? So when I say make an invitation, that's ultimately what you're trying to do, is trying to set them up so that when you say, hey, it sounds like you're pretty interested, or hey, do you mind if I send you a link to what I'm doing, to at least just give you an idea of what I'm doing at, okay? As we move along the yellow brick road, Dorothy comes across a scarecrow, okay? So scarecrow is basically trying to find out their level of business internet knowledge. So remember scarecrow in the movie, he didn't have a brain, he wanted to go see the wizard, he wanted a brain, same thing. This is kind of the first fictional thing you want to do. You want to try and find out, what sort of level of knowledge this person has, so then you kind of know what you're up against, okay? Step number 4, the if I, would you. If I was going to send you this link, Fraser, would you be able to look at it in the next half an hour? Simple as that, okay? You're basically asking them a question, but you're asking them to do something in response to them giving you, as I said, basically a response there. This is a great little question. Hey, Fraser, if I was to send you a link to tonight's webinar, would you be able to come along and check it out? Yes or no? Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
Cool. Yes, they can, whatever. If they say yes and they confirm, cool, just get that confirmation. Okay, Fraser, so you can come along to the webinar tonight? Yeah. Okay, awesome. It's at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard. You definitely can do that? Yeah, man, yeah, I can do that. All right, awesome. Well, here's the link. We'll watch the webinar, and basically then number 6 here, you want to confirm the time. So, yep, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, you're going to be there. Yep, awesome. Again, in the Wizard of Oz analogy that I'm using, Dorothy comes across Tin Man. Obviously comes across Tin Man, so you're trying to find out their story. Obviously, Tin Man was looking for a heart, so again, you're trying to find their pain, their pleasure. You're trying to find out their story, okay? And as you're doing this, as I say, basically confirming the time, you're trying to understand where they are in relation to their business, their life, that type of thing, okay? Schedule the exposure. So, okay, cool, I'm going to see you on the webinar, or hey, you're going to check out this link. And my link goes for like 20 minutes, whatever. If I message you back in like an hour, I just wanted to get your thoughts on it, whatever the case may be, okay? Basically, once you've done that, once you've given the link and you confirm the time, they're going to be on the webinar, whatever the case may be, shut the fuck up, okay? Get off the messaging, because if you continue to keep kind of talking to them, basically you're going to shoot yourself in the foot. And again, remember, you were in a hurry at the beginning of this conversation. So, cool, Fraser, yep, awesome. I'll see you tonight on the link, on the webinar. I'll message you after the link, and we'll have a bit of quick chat about it. I'd love to hear what you thought about it. awesome. Well, remember, I've got that webinar I'm going to jump on now anyway. Great chatting to you. I'll speak to you after the webinar. Boom, you're out. Okay, simple, stupid. And then, as I said, once you looking for courage to off that trial close. Great. Do you think something you can see yourself being a part of? Do you think this is something you can see enhancing your business? Can I send you the link to the confirmation page to pay? Whatever. Okay. And then the which, obviously, the which is your objections. On which you need to throw the and move the MLC. That's it. That's the straight line. And as I said here, back in that questionnaire, if you can imagine, as I said, you're going along this straight line, getting through these points here, between rapport and gathering information. This is going to be peaks and troughs are going up and down like this. If you get them outside this rapport area, or you're going too far into their personal life, you've lost them. Okay, so you need to kind of keep it between this imaginary barrier of rapport and gathering information. Okay, guys. So that's it. I hope that's really helped you guys out. I hope you guys really enjoyed.
You're breaking up a bit, Paul.
You got me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, aye. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so that's basically it, guys. If you have questions, for an hour and a half there. If you want to match me in time, or if you need to come back and rewatch the replay or go through your notes and then you have questions, feel free to message me at any time. I'll definitely answer as much as I can there for you.
Well, I've got to say, man, that's absolutely incredible. I've asked people if they got any questions. There's nothing. I think you nailed it on the head with that, man. I've got nothing. But yeah, guys, make sure you post in the group. Make sure you thank Paul. Let him know what you got from the webinar. Once it's over, I'll get the replay up. I'll put it in the file section, so for the people that did miss it, they can get in this. And I'm going to tell everybody to watch this, because this is game-changing stuff. Hope you took notes, guys, because this was top of the line stuff, right? This was like, Paul's like a mini Mark Overson, isn't he?
Yeah, it's a pretty big compliment. I'll take that, but I don't know if I'm quite at his level yet. But yeah,
you're getting there, man. You're getting there. But
no,
yeah,
cheers, guys. Well, yeah, I don't really have anything else other than that. Obviously, as I said, feel free. Any questions? If you go through your notes in a couple of days, in a week's time, you've got questions, whatever, feel free to shout them my way. And obviously, I know that Fraser and Pamela, obviously, they're experts in this kind of mindset stuff of basically this was about understanding that doing Fraser's Facebook method is a system. It's a straight line. You need to go from point A to point B, right? I know a lot of you are probably going in there going, I'm at point A, I don't really know where point B is. Hopefully now that kind of straight line, that Wizard of Oz analogy, has given you a visual representation of I need to go from here to here, and in between here and here, I've got to overcome, or I've got to go through these little sequences, okay? More that you guys can understand that, I think the better success you guys are going to have. And as I said, this is going to be something you need to take consistent action on, something you have to continue to practice and just perfect over time, okay? Fraser didn't come in on day one and have his strategy down pat. He had to go through the hurdles, the heartache of people telling him to fuck off and all that sort of stuff, but he got through it.
Yeah, guys, honestly, when I first started, right, I did not come in and I was just magically amazing at recruiting on Facebook, right? I had to learn things, right? No one is good or bad at marketing. You're trained or you're untrained. It is as simple as that, right? I've got the videos, right? I'm not on my laptop right now. I'm on my dad's laptop, which is terrible, which is why I'm not recording the videos on here. So I'll get it back on Monday, and I will have them done. I just need to upload them. Well, I was going to say something, I forgot. Yeah, consistency, guys, right? I touch on it all the time. If you do my method every day, you will naturally get better at it. You'll just become better at talking to people. Right? Like Paul was saying about unconsciously competent. Right? I just know what to do without thinking about it because I've done it for that long.
Mm.
But if you're consistent with it every single day, it'll just sink into your mind. You'll know what to do. You'll know how to speak to certain people because everybody's different, right? So take that in, guys. Right, trust me on that. Because like I say, I've been there. I've done it. I know it works. Right, you listen to me. Take 100% massive action and watch a magic happen. Right, just watch things go out of this world. Everything will just explode. ASF Movement will become $1 billion company soon, and everything's just going to go crazy. Parties and mansions and yachts and parachuting and skydiving, scuba diving, everything's going to go mental. Getting on a bit of a tangent there, guys, but you know that's just me, crazy. Anyway, so Paul, you got any last things to add?
No, that's it. That's it, guys. As I said, I hope that's yeah, really served you well, and yeah, hope you guys can take that on board and really start applying and running with that.
Yeah. All right, guys, we'll wrap this up now. We will see you a
Sunday?
week today. No, it's next Sunday. We're doing a hangout.
Oh, okay,
with we've got a hangout next Sunday with Pamela, who's going to be teaching you guys how to really tell your story, right, to impact people in a very powerful way. Because Pamela is, as you all know, she is the bomb. All right, but we'll see you a week today on Thursday for another team training. All right, not sure what we're going to do it on yet. Me, myself, Corey, Sid, and Paul will discuss that sometime next week. And then as soon as we know, we'll let you know. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the training. That has been an hour and a half of pure, insanely and massive value. All right, I've taken a screenshot of the hangout. Go to my profile, copy that, post it on your profile. Right, let other people know what we've got going on. All right, let people know about ASF, guys. Just trust me in that because we're growing at such a fast rate. It's insane. Okay, so we'll wrap it up there, and yeah, we'll see you on Thursday. All right, team.
Cheers, guys. Cheers, Fraser.
Peace.